fiber friends, welcome to day 1 of Vlogmas. I'm Emily, I'm a knitter, spinner, and natural dyer in Minnesota. If you're new to this thing, I'm the Botanical Knitter. I love plants, I love yarn. You can find me on Instagram as the Botanical Knitter and on Ravelry as Botanical Knitter. All of that is in the description below. Housekeeping done. So last year was my first Vlogmas and I did almost every day, or I would lump a couple days together. So let's have the same expectation going into this. Pinky promise, I'll try and film every day, but there might be a couple of days that are lumped together, especially in the 20s of December when I'm not working. I'm either at my family's home in Wisconsin or I'm here and I'm just gonna be knitting and reading and doing nothing all day. And that's fun, but it'll be like very short content. All right. So expectations done. Let's recap my Advent situation. A plug for the Advent planning episode mini-sode, get it? It took me a while to figure, sorry, got blurry. It took me a while to like catch on to that when I was editing. I was like, oh, mini-sode. Anyways, I filmed a mini-sode where I talked a little bit more about each Advent and worked through some of the patterns I was considering. So very high level, we'll recap that, but not too much if you already watched it. So I started for sure with the year, planning on doing 2 sock countdowns. So a new stripe every day. And my friend Jenna, hi Jenna and kids if you're listening, offered to split 2 different ones with me, which was lovely. So the first is Woolens Nosh and the second is Freckled Whimsey. Jenna's husband very graciously wound the mini skeins for us. I am so impressed. I truly, sorry Chris, don't know that you could do that. I think it would be a knotted mess. So very great. And she packaged them in bags, so it would be a surprise for me. So the Woolens Nosh one is definitely a surprise. She put it in an old bag. I love it. And then I love this little Grinchy one. We jokingly call my dad the Grinch, even though he is not a Grinch. He is like the loveliest of loves. But so it reminds me of my dad every time I knit it. So those will start today, and I'll throw in some footage later so you can see the colors. Then I also had signed up for the Scrappy Advent swap that Creabea very graciously engineered. And my partner Lori from Indiana did a beautiful job putting my box together. First of all, it arrived so far ahead of schedule. Mine came in yesterday, November 30th, down to the wire. But you know what? Maybe I saved Lori from temptation. I don't know. Sorry, Lori. So here's the box. It had a beautiful red ribbon on it. And then look at the inside. I mean, it's so thoughtfully prepared. So I did my very best, but Lori really is the star of the show. So I did that. And then somebody in the DESTASH group that I can link below if you're not part of it, but you know, join at your own risk because there's lots of really good yarn in there. Somebody in the DESTASH posted the Knotty Pine Advent from 2022, and I have always had yarn envy of like any Advent, any skein of yarn from Knotty Pine. I have a couple in my stash. Every color she does is like moody and earthy and divine. So I ended up purchasing that and saw the picture. So kind of know what to expect. I know it's a fade, but then I deleted it and my husband is gonna wrap it up for me. I was too lazy to purchase individual boxes or individual bags. So I went around the house and I found 4 or 5 items that he can keep using that will fit. And you know what? Cool. I'm using what's in my house. However, he took it on his own to find the first day 1 packaging and he used a beer box from Surly. That's a Minnesota brewery. Their barrel-aged darkness. But it's gold and black, and I'm gonna keep this one for the rotation because it's kind of perfect. Okay, should we open? So excited. Okay, day 1, here it is. Look at this cute little box. All right, so this is from Lori. Again, like, she's so good at this. A label with the yarn. So this is Wicked Merino. That's the base by Loop and Whirl Fiber Co. This is new to me. And the colorway is cereal in 11 grams. 80% merino, 20% nylon superwash. Perfect. Look at how perfect her ball is as well. Like, you should see some of, I did my best, Lori. This is pretty. So if you remember, or if you don't, I'm going to be doing an anthology throw with this one. I'm not a blanket knitter. I've never knit a blanket. I have no expectations of finishing this in December, but I thought it would be a perfect way to use those 10-gram minis. It's kind of hard to find some patterns that use 10 grams. And then also I figured I could always supplement from the scraps in my stash if I want it to be a little bit larger, because the pattern does call for 20-gram minis. So I'm gonna make it work. It's a blanket, it'll be flexible. So cute. Thank you, Lori. All right, Knotty Pine in the beer box. So here's day one. On the Bighorn sock base, 80% merino, 20% nylon, 2-ply superwash. Acorn is the colorway name. Let's see if I can get it to focus. We'll do, oh yeah. Do you see? Oh, come on, come on. There. Oh, come on, stay there. Do you see how beautiful the depth of that color is? I love it. All right, sorry for the, we're gonna figure this out together. It's really beautiful brassy browns, but like little pops of green, maybe where the dye broke a bit, and it's, or intentionally, I don't know. It's gorgeous. This is going to be a winter to summer fade. That is a very cool pattern that I really hadn't seen before. There was only 20 or so project pages. Watch the mini episode. But it is a fade from top to bottom with a small fade through the first part of the yoke, then a strong color work, stark color work, and then a fade for the remainder. So that one I'm gonna cast on soon. A reminder as well, I am not planning on finishing it in December, though who knows. I do get the week between Christmas and New Year's off for work, and so maybe I'll just power through and knit repeatedly. All right, well, I have work to do. It's December. That constant tension of wanting to slow down, but everything's picking up because if you don't know, I am a lobbyist for a nonprofit group in patient advocacy. And so our legislative session, don't bark, my corgi's starting to bark, stop it. I do advocacy and our legislative session starts in February. And so the pace is just gonna keep picking up when all I wanna do is knit and chill out. But it's okay. I love my work, so I'm really not that complaining. All right, you'll see some footage from today. I'll show you the stripes later. I hope you have a fabulous day one of December, and I will talk to you later. I forgot to share what I'm wearing. So this is my recently finished Love Note sweater. I've talked about it on my full length episodes, and I used Coast to Coast Yarn Co.'s Shrooms base, fingering and just the regular sock yarn, and then slub. And it's so good. And as you can tell, I omitted the lace. There's a little bit of puckering that's happening, but I'm letting it be because I really wanted this to be more of a sweatshirt to me. So like something I wear around the house and not necessarily like to work. So and it's so snug. I also recall though too that the pattern kind of always drapes across my chest. Even with the lace in. So I just think that's kind of how the increases work. I think I saw Karen from Care Wears recently posted on Instagram that she helped somebody that she works with, or they did a knit along, kind of fix this part, but I'm gonna let it be. I'm not too worried about it. I did balloon sleeves, so decrease, then rapid decreases, and it's super long and cozy, more of tunic length. So I'm happy with how it turned out. I knit it as part of the Love Note Love, which ran from October 1 to today, December 1. I finished it a couple weeks ago, and that Love Note knit along is hosted by Professor Pearl, my friend Nicole. You hear me talk about her a lot. This is the 4th Love Note I have ever knit. The first one I did was yellow and dyed with marigolds from my garden and paired with some yarn from an indie dyer that I adore. And that was for the very first Love Note Love, and that's how I met Nicole and so many others in this community. So anyways, here's what I'm wearing. See you later. All right, it is the end of the day, Friday, December 1st. Today ended up being a slightly busier work day than I had anticipated. I knew there was going to be a mostly all-day legislative committee hearing for me to stream that was on Medicaid and managed care if you wanted a little insight to my policy nerdness. And I was going to sit on the couch and knit so I could actively listen and not get distracted by my work emails. That really didn't happen as much as I wanted it to, and a couple of things popped up, mostly good things, but it was kind of a frantic latter half of the day. So I stopped working and I went on the Peloton and I did a 30-minute exercise thing. In December, I'm going to try and move my body 30 minutes every day, whether it's walking outside, it is doing some yoga or stretching or Peloton. I just know that it's becoming a stressful time for work for me, and if I move my body, I will feel so much better. It will help me process my stress. So sharing that in case anybody wants to do it with me. For accountability partners, let me know below. But don't worry, it will not interfere with my knitting time. So speaking of knitting, I will show you my Advent sock work. Okay, I just had my alarm interrupt because I need to go buy stitch markers from Denim and Rain. Very important stuff. Okay, first sock, Freckled Whimsey. It's a pinkish, but I love it with the brown cuff. Plain vanilla, and those are for my husband. And then the second sock is from Woolens Nosh. And that is a pattern, but you can't see the pattern yet because it is too early days. So it's a navy, which looks really nice with the gray. So that's where the socks are at. We had pizza delivered, so I'm going to go eat some pizza. I'm going to finish editing this episode. I'm going to try and get it up yet tonight, and I will talk to you all very soon. But first, I got to go buy those stitch markers.